nobody plays Candyman like Mississippi John Hurt?
The obvious reason is because it is a filthy, filthy song. Don't read the lyrics. Do not read the lyrics. And if you do, don't tell anybody you did. Other than that, it's because it's bonkers. So this is a blues in A. Now, the key of A has kind of been forgotten in like the blues world. But I feel like it's kind of the country blues folk guitarist's secret weapon. You know, I used to capo up to the key of A, you know, play G shapes in the key of A. But no longer. I've been getting into some like A blues tunes. And this means like using A chords, you know, A and D and E and all of its inversions. So let's get into it. We're going to check out his 1928 recording. If you haven't heard this session, press pause, come back to this, but go listen to that recording and as many as you can devour. They are just such a great benchmark for this kind of guitar playing. So check that out. That's what we're going to be using, and we're going to be pretty close. We're squeaking through a few things just because it's folk music, and he didn't play it exactly the same way twice. So we're going to kind of, you know, fill in the lines, connect the dots as it was. So it's just what you got to do. I don't play it the same twice when I'm playing it either. It's just teaching is funny that way, isn't it? Anyway, check out that recording. That's what we're going to be using for this lesson today. We're going to get right into it. It's kind of just two parts. First, it starts on this really cool high chord, and it's an E chord, believe it or not. Looks a lot like your A chord might, your long A chord might in first position, but it's jumped all the way up here. You're barring on the 9th fret, and then your pinky's on the 12th fret. If you have a 12th fret guitar like I do, it's easy to just kind of run your hand into the side of your guitar, and you got that chord. And he kind of just makes it an E7 chord. And then we go to a little D chord shape. Now, it's really an A chord. Sounds like that, right? But just high. I play it with a little bar. Now, when I say it's a D chord, it's kind of like that chord, but run all the way up here. And I play it with a bar because you got to get to that note too. To play it like that, like you would play your normal D shape, it's just kind of an awkward stretch. So if you bar that first finger, it makes that stretch a little more easy. If you look at this chord and that long A chord, there's not a lot of difference. Those are the two chords I would recommend practicing back and forth. If you check out this first passage here, see how my thumb is kind of running from the open E to the 9th on the G string. Now when we go to this A chord here, it's much the same, so we're going to use our open A string and then run to the 9th fret on the G string. So to cinch those two things together, and that little rhythm, you don't have to do that, but that's kind of how he did it. That gives it that little marchy feel. He doesn't do it all the time, but I happen to like it. So you could play the rhythms as written, or you could just kind of, you could do whatever you want. But the next chord here, you've got this little double stop on the 5th fret and the 7th fret on the B and E string. And what this is here, it's actually a D chord. And if you hit your open D, it makes it sound like that. And I'm not sure if he actually does hit his open D. I think he might just be playing his A through that. I can't be sure. It's been a while. The hard part is getting that 8th fret to bend. And then we go to this A chord, which looks a lot like an F chord, but just shifted up to the 5th fret. Now why this chord is so cool is every note sounds good. You have A, another A, that's 3 A's, and you got the 3rd, there's the E as the 5th, and then there's an open E. So it's all good. And when you play this, it has a really cool drony effect because this A string is droning against that same twin. Same thing with this E and E. So it's a really great effect. You're going to take that back a whole step. And this is our E chord, actually. So in like, I don't know, 6 seconds of the song, he's already played 2 different versions of A and E. So we've got this E up here. We've got this A. Remember, that's kind of like your D shape, but just with a bar. We've got this new D chord with a little bend. Then this A. Then we've got this E. And we're going to finish it up with A. So I'm going to play that for you nice and easy here. Follow along with the tab, try to play along, and we'll see you at the next part. Alright, after that we've got this walk down to a really unique E7. Now this is a chord you start to see in like some ragtime stuff, and what it is if you think of D7 and you bring it up a few frets, you have an E7, and most of us know that. You can kind of move these things around, but we need to somehow make this chord have this note in the bottom. So the way to do that is to play D7 like this and put that first finger in the bottom. We play this little passage. And then we go back to this A chord and we play this little turnaround here. And this is a great little turnaround. That's the first part. That's the first part. We get lucky. The second part, a lot of that comes back around again. So I'll play this whole first part for you here, and we'll see you at the second part. Alright, so the second section here is pretty clever. So we're playing this A chord as a bar. So it's just playing an A chord like that. And don't even worry about that first string. We're not even going to play that thing, so yeah, don't worry about it. But this lick is cool. So we've got this A chord. That's this little hammer on we're doing. I use my third finger. One could use their second finger too. I use my third finger though. It's really unique. Like not a lot of other blues songs have licks like that. Then we do that same little walk down and do the exact same thing. That makes sense. So we have this little hammer on lick, walk down. Now when I'm walking down like that, especially at like a pretty fast clip, I do individually pluck each note. So I use my thumb, lead, and finger. Does that make sense? So I've got, instead of, that would work, but it loses the attack. So I don't know what Mississippi John Hurt would have done. I have no idea, but this is what I do. That's the whole part. So that's what he's playing when he's singing. And I would pay more attention to the guitar part right now than what he was singing. The song is pretty much just rinse and repeat. So I'll play you this verse here, and you'll have what you need. that was helpful, and thanks for watching. The whole thing is available over on the Patreon. It's going along with this Dustin the Frets book we're putting out of a lot of the originators and innovators of the the acoustic guitar. So that's available over on the Patreon with a whole bunch of other tunes just like it. Otherwise, check out what's coming up next and leave your questions in the comments. We will see you at the next thing. Thanks.